Hi, this is Matt West. I am a high school teacher and strength and conditioning coach, and you're listening to one of my favorite new podcasts out there, 20TIMinutes.
Hey, excuse me, would you know where the potty at? 20TIMinutes, episode 11. I am your host, Tim McCarthy. If this is your first time joining me, welcome. This is a 20-minute podcast that focuses on mental health with a little bit of humor, because we need a little laugh, you know? That introduction was done by the great Matt West of West Movez, strength and conditioning coach. He'll help you run, he'll help you hike, he'll help you stretch. You can find him on Instagram at West, like the direction, _ Movez, but Movez has a Z on the end. He's about that. Go give him a follow, see what he's all about. Even if you're not from the area of Massachusetts, he does record videos to get you in shape, to get you stretched out. Because I'm very pro of staying active for your mental health. So thank you, Matt West, for that introduction. Known him for quite some time. Real great kid. Love him. I love good people. And he's great people. Well, I welcome you guys back to another episode. Be sure to download my new app that was created by Appetizers LLC, my great friend Caleb Weath. Please give him a follow on all social media and download my app because it's pretty rad. There's a couple people online in like these Facebook groups I'm in, and they were kind of like shitting on having a podcast app. And they're like, the consumer doesn't like downloading apps. I'm like, consumer? Like, people download apps and just leave them there for years. I'll throw out some notifications. Don't worry about it. I got this. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm coming out with t-shirts soon, I'm at the final stages with it, so I'll be doing a pre-order coming up. But I'm definitely going to give out for a couple free. So the way to win one, I'm going to incorporate the app. So download it now, and anyone that downloads it, I'll let them know how to find the answer to get one. And then I'll do a little raffle, virtual spin the wheel, whatever people are doing, like those Facebook groups where everyone like Venmos some random guy $20 and you can win like a Yeti cooler. Something about that still seems sketchy to me, and I refuse to do it. It's like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I'm funding, and you're probably getting everything for free. But that's all right. Like I've been promoting for this episode, I wanted to go over ADHD, not ADD. ADD's kind of played out now. I guess that is not the phrase to use anymore. Back in the day, I would just say that because I didn't know what it meant. Well, the definition of it. So ADHD is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. ADD, throw it out. It's not used anymore. If people use it, they don't know what they're talking about. So I feel like everyone kind of knows what ADHD is, and I feel like they know just the broad answer of it, where they feel like it's kind of like the quirkiness or someone that just can't pay attention, which is true, but there's so much more to it, and I didn't even know about it. So I looked into it to get more information for this episode, because I'm still learning too, because I just got diagnosed professionally not too long ago. So I want to be informative if I'm going to talk to you as a regular person. Again, I'm not a professional. I'm just a regular dude for regular people. I want you to relate to me. Hopefully that will help you out, because it helps me out hearing about you guys understanding more, even if you don't have mental health issues. It's very cool for people to reach out and be like, oh, I didn't know that, or if you need anything, let me know. And that's always nice. I love when you tell people that. You're like, hey, let me know if you need anything. You're like, yeah, definitely. And then you'll never reach out. Just one of those things you'll never do. It's like when you tell people, it's like, oh, tell so-and-so I said hi. They're like, okay, yeah. You never do that. It's like, hey, my wife says hi. And they're like, okay, I guess tell her hi the next time you see her. I don't know. I don't know why I'm so negative about things. I just like to make fun of things. I make fun of everything. If you follow this podcast, you know I make fun of myself constantly. Because if you can't laugh at yourself, you're not allowed to laugh at anything else. So people that don't laugh at things, they're too serious. Make them laugh. So I always felt like I knew I had ADHD. Anyone that went to school with me, anyone that lived with me, you were like, yeah, that makes sense. So I found out ADHD because I was always naturally, that's how you pronounce that word, curious. I feel like everything was a little bit chaotic, very playful. If you know me, I love playing around. I've been described as like an overgrown toddler, and I still call myself a man-child. And my buddy Joe back in high school, I'll never forget that. He was like, I think the reason girls like you is because they like to babysit, and they kind of pretty much babysit you. And I was like, that stings a little bit, but you did ass right. I never paid attention in school. I didn't like school. I wasn't learning things that I wanted to learn. Like history, never good with years, what was going on. Like I never gave a shit. Like science, like rocks, I don't need to know that. There was that meme where it was like in algebra, it's like when you'll never have a calculator on you at all times, and the iPhone dropped, and now those substitute teachers don't know what they're talking about. Get it together. So I found out there's 3 major key components of ADHD. There's hyperactivity, which is in the title. There's being inattentive and impulsive. I feel like all those words kind of seem obvious. So with hyperactivity, it's like you're constantly feeling like something like aggressiveness. And then I know it affects your home life, your work life. It's pretty much just like the way you feel, and that projects onto other things. So if like I'm very down and negative, it's going to affect my life around me because I think everything else is negative. And then inattentive is pretty much obvious. Like I miss a lot of details in stories, and it's not because it's like boring. It's like I just can't keep up with your stories. If you ever seen Parks and Recreation, there's a scene where Andy's trying to get information to go find something, and he keeps on trailing off. Like that's pretty much me. Anytime someone tells me a long story, I definitely get bored easily. Not being rude, so I have trouble focusing. I've definitely had like a learning disability, you should say. I wouldn't call it a disability because my body chooses and my mind chooses that I don't want to do it. I feel like if I really wanted to settle down and figure something out, I would. And I do for things I like, so it makes sense. And I like daydream a lot, so I don't pay attention when I'm driving. And it makes sense because I'm always daydreaming about nothing, like scenarios that will never happen in my life. And like all these things that I drive myself crazy with. Then impulsive is a huge one for me. I feel like I'm self-aware with that now because it would happen to me and I would feel bad. So with that, I'm always out of breath in this room. There's no ventilation. I need to start wearing like tank tops in here because I sweat so bad in the cat closet. I'm like so dry, everything. This place, I need something in here that will just keep me fresh. I needed a sip of water bad there. Okay, anyway. So what I would do is I would interrupt people in conversations because I was so antsy to let them know something. And that's super rude. And then I learned that. So sometimes that would affect me negatively down the road. So like people would kind of talk over me or like make sure, this is how I felt, that I wouldn't get any words in. I'd always kind of be neglected in like storytelling and stuff. So I try to get in and like want to tell my piece. And it kind of still happens now, but I know it's inadvertent. I just definitely I don't even have the gift of gab. I have like the disease of gab. Like too much Yabba Gabba Do. Too much. Can't be doing that anymore. So it is good that I'm self-aware on that, so I try really hard not to do it. And then I get distracted by distractions. I go down like Inception distractions. I'll be doing laundry like I was doing, and I still need to do it. And then I'll go downstairs to get something, and then something else will bring me in. So then I'm like doing laundry, organizing like my sock drawer, talking to somebody on the phone. I'm like, you know what? Let me play a video game real quick. Then I'm like, oh my God, I left my laundry in for 3 days. It stinks, and I gotta wash it again. You ever do that? I just thought it stayed clean in the washer at all times, even if it was like a couple days. Washed it 3 days later. I'm like, this thing stinks. Did I not wash it? I did. Again, distractions by distractions. Tough. Then there's like the Hulk disease, I would say. Anyone with bipolar or ADHD can relate to the Incredible Hulk. So I have like knee-jerk reactions when I get mad. I drop the loudest F-bombs when I'm by myself. Sometimes I'm not by myself. And like I get super frustrated. If like I was recording an episode one day and I was like trying to do a promo and I kept messing it up. And I was just like, fuck. And it went through the whole house and Lindsay was like, hey, can you like try not to do that? And I felt wicked bad because Charles, my German Shepherd, gets like super sad when I'm angry and he like comes up and cuddles with me. Like I used to get really upset at like losing video games when I was a kid. And I kind of do still, but I'm not as bad as a kid. But like I'll drop a couple F-bombs if things aren't going my way. It's just how to get it out. But I'm 35 years old and I need to be a little bit more adultish. So it's not like you go around smashing buildings or anything, but you definitely want to smash something. And then you feel like so negative that you have to like self-destruct yourself. And not a way of like self-harm, but you just, I've gone over this before that I just want to keep bringing myself down because I feel like I deserve it, but I don't. I just want to like be like, man, you're so fucking stupid. You don't listen to anybody. Everyone hates you. They don't want to hang out with you. And that's like another thing too. I feel like I'm very exhausting because I'm such high energy when I am interrupting somebody. And I always felt bad about that because I never wanted it to be a negative because I'm so like just fun. I like being playful. And I can see me getting exhausting for certain people. And I feel like I definitely lost connections with some people because of that. And it's fine. I definitely had a hard time with that. But I'm just like, at this age, you just gotta focus on you and the people that want to be in your life, opposed to like trying to make other people happy that don't want to be happy with you around. It's the toughest thing to like be self-aware about. I'm like, you know what? Why am I wasting my time wanting to hang out with people that don't want to hang out with me? And like kind of put you down. So yeah, that's a tough feeling. Another thing with like the inattentiveness is it seems like I'm not listening, but I am. I can multitask to a point. Like the other night, Lindsay wanted to explain like these different light bulbs because I tried to get a light bulb replaced and I bought the wrong one. And I'm in like the middle of a game, like video game with my buddy Duff playing NHL. And like I'm trying to play this game. She's trying to explain to me bulbs. I'm like, you could probably wait like 10 minutes with this. I know games aren't that important, but this light isn't going to change in about 10 minutes. So how about you come back and I'll give you all the attention that I can give you because this is super important, but not right now. It's like when I'm, another con that I know I have is being on my cell phone in front of people because I am listening and I'm not bored. I just want to do everything at once because I hate wasting time and I want to get everything done in like 2 minutes. If I have like a project to do, I want to get it done. I want to get it done as quick as I can, or I'm going to sit there and wait all day and keep putting it off. It's so weird to keep having those feelings back and forth. I feel like I'm a walking contradiction that I know I want to get something done, but then I'm like, you know what, I'll wait 5 minutes. I'll wait 10 minutes, and it goes back to the distraction. I feel like a lot of people have these feelings and don't have ADHD, so it feels weird for me to explain it and everyone being like, yeah, I have that too. So there's like a weird line that I didn't know if I really had it until I got diagnosed. So I don't want to like scare anybody and be like, hey, you might have ADHD. I feel like these are things that anybody could really have or not. I don't know. Like, are you an asshole that just interrupts people and you know about it? You're like, no, I want to interrupt this person because my story is better. And I don't do it because of that. I just want to get in there. It's like double Dutch. Like, I'm ready. Okay, they don't want me. Okay, ready. Okay, I'm gonna leave. All right, guys, I'm gonna go home and worry about this whole conversation for the next couple of years and never get over it because I said something stupid. What an idiot. So I was also reading like long-term effects because I'm an adult now. I know little kids have real tough issues with it, especially with parents, because growing up, you don't know what's going on, especially with your body, the world, everything. So it's like you think these kids are like special needs, or like other people think that, but they're just being kids growing up. And yeah, they might have a learning disability, but they don't want to learn about stupid shit. They don't want to, I never wanted to learn about Christopher Columbus or fucking Hammurabi or, I don't care. I don't care. Give me something good. If you gave me a test on, the history of the Intercontinental Championship and WWF, I'd probably look into that and get that done from A to Z. Pat Patterson was the number one. It was the first ever Intercontinental Champion. God rest his soul. But I digress. Don't even know if I'm saying that word right. I just wanted to say I digress because I heard it one time and I was like, that sounds cool as shit. So, long-term effects for someone like me, and these go probably 50-50 on these. One's antisocial, addictive behavior, obese, poor driving skills, low self-esteem. I feel like the antisocial is kind of there. I don't really have a addictive personality. I used to be addicted to Sprite. I would drink Sprite constantly, a 12-pack a day. One time I sweat so bad in Tennessee when I was down there, and I woke up in a pool of Sprite. I didn't know if I peed out Sprite, it leaked out of me, or I spilt it. Don't know what happened, but it stunk like Sprite. The driving's huge. I'm daydreaming too much with that. Low self-esteem. You guys listen to this podcast, I definitely have a pretty big amount of that. Obese, feel like I'm getting that under control. Not getting obese, going to the gym, doing all that stuff. Like my good friend Greg has said, you got to form good habits to get rid of the bad habits, and I'm still doing that. And the methods I cope with, obviously meds. I got to start being more organized. Me and my wife share the Google Calendar so I can stay up to date. We have a board with the dates on there, which I kind of don't pay attention to. And I've been trying to put reminders in my phone. I'm like, hey Siri, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully she didn't just hear that and fuck up this recording. And then I just have a tough time with that. I have a tough time remembering things, and that always scares me a little bit. So I Googled the connection of Alzheimer's and ADHD to see if there's any correlation, and there isn't, which was a load off my mind, because I just feel so bad when I forget things, especially if it's about someone's birthday or a thing I have scheduled, or just even going downstairs and being what am I doing? And it's so frustrating and it beats me up a lot. And I try for it not to, and I just can't help the way I feel about it. It's the number one thing that I hate about having ADHD. I just, when I read all this stuff, which I didn't go on any bootleg sites drvisits.325.org net. I made sure not to do that. I went to the .orgs, not the .nets or the whatever else there is besides the .com. There's a bunch. I'm not smart, by the way. If you come to this podcast thinking you're gonna learn something informative, legitimately a teacher telling you, this isn't the place for you. This is a guy that barely reads, probably just read the titles of a news story, be like, oh, did you hear that there was a bunch of COVID vaccines that spoiled? Like, oh, why? What happened? I'm like, I have no idea. I just heard about it. Don't even know if it's true. Yeah, that's the kind of guy I have. So, do apologize. Again, don't take anything I say professionally. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to talk to you like a normal person, that I have things that you might have, or you could relate to me with something like that. And I hopefully that helps you, because I just want to help people, and I definitely helped out a few. Because I'm just a normal dude talking about normal stuff with normal people. I need a tagline. I always compare myself to other podcasts, and I shouldn't. There was a post that was oh, what's everyone's tagline? I was like, shit, should I have a tagline? I'm like, I have no idea. I have an app. What about that? That should be 20TIMinutes. I have an app. I feel like it should be 20TIMinutes. Let's talk about it. No, 20TIMinutes. It's time to talk about it. 20TIMinutes. Time's up. Now that kind of sounds bad. But I feel like I was talking a lot of cons about this, but I think these are the strengths that I have with it. I feel like I'm fun. I have high energy, spontaneous. I feel like I'm a little bit creative, and I'm trying to find my thing. And you could say the podcast is my creative thing, but I kind of want something, not art or playing music. I feel like I have a really good ear for music. I've always wanted to get into photography. I just don't know what my thing is to be creative. I definitely have creative thinking, Like me and Lindsay will be talking and I'll say like something stupid that no one talks about at all. And it's so funny to me because, and I'm just like, I feel so bad because Lindsay has no idea what I'm talking about. She's like, who thinks of that? Like, no one would ever think of that. And it just cracks me up. I don't even know an example because my memory is so bad. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. And then, but another time though, I will get hyper focused on something like the podcast. I write too much on my whiteboard in front of me. That's why I keep looking around me. I just had the theme song playing in my headphones and while I was talking, so I probably sound wicked stupid. See, you can tell I have ADHD just by looking and hearing me. I can't even sit straight. My hands are flying around like I'm playing an invisible piano. But I love who I am. I've come to terms with it. I'm trying to harness the good out of the ADHD. There was one thing I did read though that kind of like low-key bummed me out, but it was from like Denmark researchers .45. I was like, okay. But they said that people that have ADHD are twice likely to die in an accidental death. And I was like, that makes sense. But the dumbass I am, I was like, oh, what type of like accidents? Like they must not be paying attention. And why did I think of piano dropping on your head? Like I watch too much cartoons. Like I just feel like, oh, accidental death, piano on my head. Why did I think of that? It's definitely like not paying attention in the car, probably texting and driving. But I had a friend being like, you're too shifty and all over the map to die like that. I don't think I'm going to die prematurely. I feel like I'm on the good side of the 50%. Because when I go places, I scan the whole room. Fire exits, sketchy looking people, funny looking people. Lindsay's like, hey, did you see that guy? I'm like, yep, he's in the corner, has a great smile, laughing his ass off. I'm very detail oriented, okay? And when things don't go my way or I mess up, that's when your boy gets a little bit of the Hulk Bruce Banner disease. And I'm trying to step back on that because I'm trying to be better. And hopefully you guys can get better too with some motivation and some positivity. 20 minutes. Am I right? I thank you for checking out episode 11. I love doing these episodes now because I fly through them. I look down at the clock. I'm way past 20 minutes. I'm going to get sued for not following my name. But I wanted to end with this quote, my movie suggestion song. So there was this quote I saw when I was searching for ADHD, and it was from Albert Einstein. Ever heard of him? He said, everyone's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. And that's wicked cool because, like, I want to be a fish that climbs trees. But it makes sense because just because you're different and you want to try something else, like, why can't I? Especially if people like, no, you can't do this, or you're dumb for doing this. I don't know. I don't even know if that's my interpretation of it that's correct. So if you want to correct me, then do it. But I like that quote. I'm going to get it tattooed on my neck. Live, laugh, love. Am I right? Where my live, laugh, love people at? Where my TJ Maxx Marshalls people at? If you got a live, laugh, love sign, put your hands up. Because I'm going to call you out and say you need a different sign in your house. So, I'm like so out of breath in this room. So my song suggestion of the week, John Mayer, New Light. It is a jam. If you follow me on Instagram, that was my pump up jam. It's funky. You'll start moving your shoulders, snapping your fingers. And then my movie suggestion is on, I believe, Amazon Prime, is MacGruber. If you don't know MacGruber, it's a play off MacGyver, but it's Will Forte of Saturday Night Live, and it was a skit. And now it's a full-length movie with Kristen Wiig and Ryan Phillippe and Val Kilmer. If you like dumb comedy, that's silly, go watch that. I like piss myself laughing every time I see it, and it always cheers me up. Because you gotta smile. But that's the end of episode 11. I love you guys so much. And again, I'm doing a t-shirt giveaway shortly. It's gonna go through the app. Download the app, 20 minutes. It's definitely on Apple right now. Google Play has been wicked sketchy. I will notify you when that is up. And episode 11, time's up. We're done talking about it. TikTok. I love you guys so much. Please be sure to say hello to me on all social media. You can find me. You're smart enough. I believe in you. Sayonara from the cat closet. Have a good one. This podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. If you are feeling suicidal, please dial 911.